I went on ahead and signed on to GameFAQs tonight in order to continue preparations for the setting up of my post and my poll here in order to cut my losses from War for Cybertron, and I'm going to pull out of the game altogether and move on to something else. Those that have been following my past journeys throughout War for Cybertron, there was a long road in order to reach this point in the community that unfortunately was an inevitable conclusion now. Though I gave a brief summarization here, it's actually a much longer story than it would lead on, and the people that I mentioned in the story here do know the length of this. I'll attach a link down below here, as well as the link down below here to the post and the polls. And now to the poll here, this is going to set up for the final opponent that I will be facing in the history of WFC. This one here is comprised of a list of very specific names, all legit players, with the exception of two, possible three, that had rather controversial runs in the community, but ended legit all the same. And then there is the one person or the one player that I did put on the list just for the heck of it, that was asked of in order to put on the list just to see where the polls would stand on it, said person. So I went on ahead and put him on there. As it stands right now, it looks like it's a tie between A11 and Straxus. In terms of general availability, it may not even end at A11 or Straxus, but I will still keep the polls open all the same to see how the community will place its vote accordingly, and see how many people were willing to dust off old WFC GameFAQs accounts and weigh in. In terms of setting up for the final opponent and the ultimate match, there's actually a longer story behind that as well, which is told throughout the journey of my YouTubing. And while I understand I may not arrive at Edge or A11, I still want to have it respectably known that I did want to have that as the last match, because it's what I spent all these years working towards. A link to the polls here for the WSC GameFAQs will be listed below. Feel free to weigh in as you are able to. On that notion, I will leave you guys to be. I'll be back at the end of the week most likely to check on the status of this to see if there's been any progress or not. Rodimus Prime, out.